What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we are going to be looking at this beautiful beast. This is the Microtech Stitch. Oh, stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. All right. Oh, this knife. Oh, this knife. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you to my buddy Jeremy, aka freakshow_EDC. If you are not following him on Instagram, you need to go over there right now and do so. He is a super cool dude. He has sent knives to the channel before, and he also does sharpening. So if you need any of those services, definitely hit him up over on Instagram and talk to him about that because he does an excellent job. One other thing I want to mention before we get started is I have 5 children, and yeah, they're all kind of crazy. Not going to school, so you might hear them in the background, and yeah, I can't get them to shut up. So anyways, back to this bite. Oh, okay, so if you saw the unboxing of this knife, you knew that I was excited. This thing is super cool, and I have seen this all over the place. And then when Jake from Bearded Gear did his review and his unboxing and all that of this knife, I was super stoked. I was like, that looks like a Kyle knife. And yeah, so this is the Microtech Stitch, which is a collaboration between Anthony Morfione and Sebastian. Well, see if I can actually say this right. Berngi? Anyway, the guy behind Borka Blades. I actually love the name Sebastian. It reminds me of The Neverending Story. If you are my age or older, you would probably know what The Neverending Story is. But anyway, Sebastian, I like that name. This knife, oh, okay, so first of all, if you were looking at this knife, this is a Borka Blades design. The stitch from him, which is the custom knife, is an expensive knife. It is crazy custom expensive. You know, you're looking north of $2,000. And so, yeah, very happy that they collaborated to make this guy because, man, I just love the way this thing looks. Now, if you don't like tactical looking knives or whatever, this is probably not going to be for you. However, this thing is amazing in hand. So, before we go over all that, what are we working with? We have Microtech's usual high-grade aluminum handles, which is textured, very nicely done. Does add grip without being sharp or anything like that. You have on this version a M390 blade. Microtech uses LMAX, M390, 204P, HHP. I mean, they use a bunch of different blades. This one happens to be an M390, and I really like that steel, so that tickles my fancy. It is quite large of a knife. I mean, it's not like ridiculous, but I mean, sitting right here looking at this, you're like, wow, that's a big blade. Yeah, it is pretty big. So you're looking at an overall length of about 8.5 inches. And you do have a blade length of 3.75, but a cutting edge of only 3 inches. Now, a lot of people were going to balk at that. In a minute, with some size comparisons, you'll understand that I really love blades like this. You're looking at a big old chunk of M390, and it's about 190 thousandths thick. So yeah, that's a pretty thick blade stock. It's Wharncliffe style blade, and it says it's a hollow grind, and I can see that, but it is a very shallow hollow grind, if it is one, and it has a wonderful stonewash finish. Look at this. I love a stonewash finish, and holy moly, did they do very good work on the stonewash for this blade. I love it. Now, of course, you can see, just like on every other Microtech, you have the huge billboarding, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it doesn't bother me as much as it does some people. You have the serial number, and this one's birth date, which is October 2020. So this one is a new one, and very cool. Oh man, I just love. There's the logo for Borka Blades. And yeah, I didn't know who had designed this whenever I first unboxed it. I couldn't remember. But yeah, Borka Blades is the one who has designed this knife, and golly, is it up my alley. So in typical Microtech fashion, those are the materials. Things that I love that they did on this one and not on some of their other ones is it's not proprietary hardware. English is hard. This is like a T20 Torx, and then you got T8 Torx for the rest of it. That's awesome. Love that. Really, really love that. So it's going to make, if you do take this thing apart, a lot easier. Another thing that I really love about Microtech and their side opening autos is their button. Look at that. I love this button for an auto. It's absolutely wonderful. It has a grip on it. It sticks up just a little bit proud. No issues of this thing going off in my pocket or anything like that. But it is very intuitive and a perfect spot to, boom, knock that thing out of there, and it hits hard. If you like automatics that hit hard, Microtech is your brand. Now, Microtech does hit hard. That is 100% the case. However, one thing that I don't like, and usually, like I've only had one of their side opening auto from Microtech, which was the SOCOM Elite. The spring tension is rather strong, and that's because they want it to hit hard and come out really, really fast. However, ProTech has done that where it hits really hard, but the spring tension is enough to where I can close something like this with one hand. This one, man, it's possible, but it is not safe to do so. If I wouldn't over this this mat here, I would not attempt it. So this is definitely a two-handed closing knife, in my opinion, just to be on the safe side. That is one thing that I don't like about it. However, I mean, if you don't care about that and you just care about hitting hard, well, by golly, that definitely happens with this blade. Now, some of the design elements that I really like about this knife. The knife itself is very cool looking, but the ergonomics on this thing are dreamy. And why is that? Because you guys know, if you are subscribed to my channel, the kind of ergonomics that I like. Let's go ahead and bring this guy back out. This is the ProTech SNG. So it is an automatic, and it has the ergonomics that I really, really love. It has the forward finger choil, and then this, this one has more of a neutral kind of a swoop. This one's fat out here, but for me and my hand size, it just feels excellent. And this one, absolutely 100%. It even feels better than the SNG. And that's saying something, because I can put my thumb back here. You get the jimping on this one, which is just, a tad bit sharp. It's not bad, but it feels so good. This thing, whoa, with this little area, this little harpoon area that has jimping, but not sharp at all. This thing feels amazing. I say that about ergonomics with these knives, but holy moly. So we'll bring out another one here. This is the Strider SMF. So another one with ergonomics that I love, and another thing that people don't like, the big huge finger trolls with the smaller cutting edge. I am a fan, of the ergonomics, and the blade, the cutting edge on these things are enough for me to be able to do what I want to do. So I actually would rather have the big finger choil for my ergonomics than I would have more cutting edge. I think the 3 inches on the stitch is fine to do what you need to do, but as you can see, it is a big guy. This is the SMF, which is bigger than the SNG. Let's just go ahead and put them both here so you can see. Yeah, it's definitely a bigger knife, but man, I tell you, it feels amazing in hand. I don't care if you have big or small hands. I think this thing is going to work for you. Let's go. I mean, there's another knife too. Boom. That has similar ergonomics and the big finger choil. So you can kind of see a pattern here of things that I really like. And this nails it. Nails it as far as ergonomics. The one thing that would make this knife perfect is if it wasn't an automatic. Now you're saying, well, you're reviewing an automatic knife, and I get that. And automatics for me are really fun. And I have a few automatics in the collection. But me personally, I really, really like to fidget with my knives. So it's nice to have an automatic because they are really fun, but they're not fidgety, as far as, opening and having the closing action. This one is in particular because I have to close it with two hands to feel safe. So that to me is kind of a bad thing for this knife. It's really the only bad thing. So if this knife, like I seriously plan on, emailing Microtech, and I'm sure other people have probably done this before, but keeping it a plunge lock, but without the spring and making this a manual open button lock, take my money. Take my money. I'm telling you right now, they would sell the hell out of a button lock manual open stitch. Sell like hotcakes. You won't be able to keep them in stock. If anybody disagrees with that, leave it down in the comments because I know for a fact that would happen. I have no idea if that's what they're planning on doing, if they're doing anything like that, even if they're doing like a manual liner lock that they do with the Silcom Elite, because they do have a manual version and an automatic version of that. Even that would be cool. But if you made this a button lock manual, with just that hole, because this is a design element because the Borka blades does have the hole there, so you can manually flick it out. And if that was the case, yep, and if there was one knife, if I had that, that would totally be the knife that I would keep forever. There's some knives that I've got in the collection that, I say that, and they are forever knives. But if I had a manual button lock of this design, jeez, I mean, come on. That would blow my mind, and this thing is expensive. I mean, they're around $380 for the automatic version. So a manual version, I don't know, would be more, be less? Yeah, well, this guy would pay more. I really would, because I love the design that much. With the materials, keeping the aluminum, but with the higher end steels that they do over at Microtech, the wonderful manufacturing that they have, and this USA company. Kudos USA, America, baby. That would just be amazing. I know for a fact they couldn't keep it. Now, they can't keep this in stock. I mean, this thing is not discontinued or anything right now, but when they do drops, these things go super fast, like lightning fast. So they can't even keep this in stock. I guarantee you it would be more so if it was a button lock manual. Like I'm going to be dreaming about that from here on out until they do it. I want it. And I'm going to be a big baby about it. I'm going to tell Microtech, man, they got to do it. They got to do it. Listen to me. Nobody listens to me. But the one thing we haven't talked about is the carry. The carry is fine. I love, it's a tactical knife. So the pocket clip does not sit deep carry. You have about that much sticking out of your pocket, which I grabbed right there to pull it out. Pocket clip works well. I actually like the way they designed it here because it has enough ramp to get in some thicker pants, but I don't feel that pocket clip. I mean, I feel it, but it is not a hot spot at all in either this grip or this grip. So, I mean, you can feel it, but it's not a hot spot. One thing I do like, though, is this kind of this double bend. Instead of having just this come down and ramp up, they have this little double bend, and it does help to make sure this thing is not coming out of your pocket. Really good retention. So I love this pocket clip. I know a lot of people would rather have a deep carry clip, but I'm telling you, this is pretty perfect for this knife, I think. It does have a lanyard hole that is integrated into this really long back spacer, which I dig. I love it a lot. It's not aggressive, but it's still, grippy. So I think the design is just, it hits it out of the park. They don't have the texturing underneath the pocket clip. So yeah, it works amazingly. I just really love everything about it. I just wish it was manual. If this was manual, golly, I know I'm saying that too much. But holy crap. One thing, it fires out. I want you to kind of see something. Look at that stop pin. That's massive. Okay, that stop pin is like just under 300 thousandths in diameter. One of the, let's see if I can actually get this. Oh, I didn't bring it out here. Oh, well. But, the stop pin on this thing is overdone. Like, it is huge, and I love it. I love it. I mean, it has to be pretty strong to stop that daggum thing. But yeah, the fact that this thing is that big and the construction alone just feels premium, and like this thing is not going to break ever. A lot of people were like, well, it's an automatic. Why do they keep that hole in there? That's not going to affect the performance of this blade at all. Not at all. This thing does come relatively thin behind the edge. I mean, with 190 thousandths thick, it's still about 20 thousandths behind the edge, and oh boy, does it cut. Now, you know, this is a tactical blade, so I kind of like the fact, a lot of people were like, well, I don't like being back here and it being that far away from the cutting edge. Hey, I get that. I really, really do. As you can kind of see, though, if you're cutting on a board, cutting flat, because of the way the handle and the blade is, you can really get down on your cutting surface without getting your fingers in the way. That's amazing, and that's a definite thing that I like on an EDC knife that doesn't happen very often. So that is really cool. The tactical, version of this knife, which it is a tactical knife, it allows you to come back here and you got some reach. I don't fight with knives. I have no training in fighting knives. I'm just saying. But if you have to do that, or you got this kind of cutting going on, it's very comfortable in this grip. And then when you need to get detailed and get behind that blade, I'm telling you, I keep screaming about the Strider, and the Strider is one of the most ergonomic knives that I have, but it doesn't touch this. I keep getting blown away by some of these knives and the way that they're making them that fit my hand, and I love this design. I cannot stress enough how much I love it. As far as tactical wise, also in the reverse grip, it is very, very nice because you have this jimping here. You get your thumb behind it. If you ever had to use it in this grip, it would not come out of your hand, even in sweaty or bloody situations. Hopefully we never have to have that, but it's very comfortable in that grip. Matter of fact, it's comfortable in almost every single grip. And I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I want this knife in a manual so freaking bad. Like, I would seriously pay over the $380 that it cost for this automatic version. I would do it. Hands down, take my money right now. I want it so bad. Like, I can't. I want everybody who is watching this video to also email Microtech and tell them we got to have it. We got to have a manual version. Guys, I love this knife. I would not purchase it as of right now because it's an automatic, because I like to be able to get the knife closed, with one hand, and this one just does not do that because the string tension is too strong, and it's just kind of too awkward for me to be able to do this reliably. So it's, that's the only thing that I have wrong with this knife. That's it. And I know it's an automatic, so you shouldn't be complaining, but with other automatics, I can close this knife, so easily with one hand. I just can't do it with that. So it's just one of those things. I do love the knife. I absolutely think it is worth it. If you can find one, definitely grab it if you like this design and if you want an auto. An auto in the collection is great. I'm just saying, because even though we are fidgety guys, an auto is just something different and very, very fun. Some states you can't carry an auto. I suggest moving to a state that you can, because freedom, baby. Remember, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. We've got a lot of good stuff coming. I've got my Knives of 2020, Best Knives of 2020 coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. I've got to wait till some stuff comes in. So stay tuned, guys. I love you all. Stay safe in this crazy world that we're living in, and we will see you in the next one.